Welcome to the Naptown Rock Radio Wars reception, VIP reception. Behind me are a number of VIPs who were in the film, as well as people who wanted an opportunity, super fans if you will, to meet some of their heroes from years ago. These are people from the 50s, 60s, and 70s, assembled in one place, maybe for the last time, here in Indianapolis, Indiana, moments before the film premiere of Naptown Rock Radio Wars.
WIBC, the mighty 1070.
I'm Tom Cochran from Cambria, California, which is halfway between San Francisco and Los Angeles, but as some of you may remember or recognize, originally from Indiana, good Hoosier boy. Started on work radio in Muncie, Indiana. Actually started on WFMS in Indianapolis as a board op. Listened to the Wife Good Guys. Went to work at work radio, heard WNAP, came here, went to work on FM 93 and on Fred Heckman's WIBC. So I had the best of both worlds and eventually worked for some television stations in Indianapolis. It's great to be back home in this sort of pre-Super Bowl mania. And I actually think this is the first official Super Bowl event of the year. So good to see you all.
I'm Tom Woody. And the 60s were an interesting period of time, especially to be growing up in. I kind of got into the radio business at a young age, like 16, but that was at the same time that I was learning about how markets operate, how music operates, and how the business operates in the city of Indianapolis. Interestingly enough, even though radio-free Naptown was in fact a positive force on the broadcasting industry here in Indianapolis, they were a bunch of rogues. What can I say? A bunch of bad boys. And when they got busted, I happened to be on the air legitimately in New York City, at WNCN, a classical music station of all things. But Indianapolis has had a pretty interesting experience as far as the terrestrial radio is concerned.
I'm Scott Wheeler. I was a wife good guy in 1973, 74, 75, and then again in 76. I've worked here in Indianapolis at various radio stations over the years, quite a few actually. These days I'm doing some freelance voice work like a lot of people are, and having a good time here at the party tonight.
Are you rolling? Are you rolling now? You're rolling now?
I was always the big voice kid that could do all these commercials. So they said, why don't you mix these out for us? And I said, sure, I'd love to. I love doing stuff in the production.
Hi, I'm Buster Bodine. I have no idea. And I worked at WNAP from 1972 to 1981. Still haven't been paid. But I didn't do it for the money. I did it for all the albums I could steal. And I've got every freaking one of them. Love you.
Hey, it's Dave Heck here. You don't know who that is. I'm sure you don't. But I bet if I said Michael Bryan, you probably do. Yeah, I worked at WIFE from about 1971 to 1975, I think it was, as the all-night disc jockey most of the time. And boy, I lived through it for some reason. I'm not sure how I did that. But anyway, left and later went to WNDE, spent some time there, about 6 years and 10 months, and then spent 22 years at 107.9 FM, the WIFE FM frequency, which became WTPI. And said 22 years there doing a night breeze format, which was kind of a smooth jazz. And now I'm back really having to work for a living instead of sit behind a microphone and flip a switch. I actually have to work for a living now. I work at MS Communications, the corporate offices right here in Indianapolis, as a broadcast engineer.
Indianapolis, WIFE loves you.
The audience shifted from 1070 to 1310, and it didn't happen overnight. It took about a week.
Now, this is Pat Kelly, and I was for many years with WIFE Radio. Very proud to say that. As far as right now is concerned, I'm retired, flat out retired, and I'm enjoying it, and I'm doing a good job of that.
Hey, this is Fast Freddie Fever, WNAP. I worked at WNAP from 1978 to approximately 1982 or 83.
The Wrath of the Buzzard. WNAP, Indianapolis.
The first time I played that ID and I heard it go through my headphones, It was like the voice of God and a thunderbolt coming down and striking you. And then after I left the Buzzard, which was the greatest radio station I have ever worked at in my life, it was genius there. And Cris Connor gave me the chance to work there. And after I left there, I started doing stand-up comedy. I moved to San Francisco to do stand-up comedy, where I worked with Robin Williams and Paula Poundstone and Rob Schneider. And then I went to Los Angeles, where I worked for probably 5 different stations. I worked for the Emma station out there, Power 106. I worked for Star 98.7 with my partner Gary Spears, and Ryan Seacrest used to follow us. You know, Hoosier hospitality. I had my hand stamped so I could get back into the state line without paying a cover, and so I decided to come back.
Hi, I'm Art Baker, representing Bouncin Baker, who's my father, who would have greatly enjoyed this and was a big part of this area in the 50s and really enjoyed being part of it. And I know would have enjoyed greatly being down here this evening and being with everybody again.
The one and only Bouncin' Bill Baker!
Well, there you are, and good morning, music lovers. You look absolutely this morning. Here's truly the Big B, Bouncin' Bill B, here on WIBC, clipping across the kilocycles, mutilating the megacycles. Here's Diane Renee, our chick of the day, and number 11, Navy Blue.
You've been handing this microphone to too many radio guys because it's hot. It's a hot mic. Al Stone, WNAP's first co-program director and nighttime DJ back in '68. And Dave Fulton and I came up with this idea to do this film. We had a good time doing it. It took 4 years, a lot of sweat, blood, sweat, and tears, and I'm glad this night is here. Pretty much doing the same thing I've always done. I do a lot of radio, TV production, a lot of voice work, and I'm still a professional musician, play every weekend at my advanced years. Yes, I live just north of town. I moved back to my little hometown of Fishers, which has exploded.
This is the round mound of sound. Wife Good Guy from the 1960s, living and breathing in the 2012 year. Isn't that amazing? It was a wonderful career. I had a great time. I actually broadcast on the air until 2007, which means I can't even add up how many years that is. 1964 to 2007. Had a wonderful 34-year career as the public address announcer for the Indiana Pacers, where in recent years I became best known for 2 minutes to I
mean, everything fell apart quick at WIBC.
I mean, they absolutely destroyed that guy. Wife was so big, it's hard to believe how big it was. A tornado wouldn't have that big an impact on a community.
Roger W. Morgan, and so happy to be back in Indy. I got to tell you, this is the greatest city in the world, and it's gotten even better in the last 30 years that I haven't seen it. I'm currently out in New Mexico. I'm managing a group of 6 radio stations for Majestic Broadcasting, and just so excited about being here tonight for Naptown Radio Wars, seeing my old friend Reb Porter, who's here, and a lot of our old dear friends. It's so nice to be back home and nice to be able to say, you've just been Morganized.
My name is Cris Connor, and what am I doing now, you say?
Where did you work? What are you doing now?
I never worked anywhere, Art. I worked at WNAP, and right now I'm doing fine art photography, and I write a daily newsletter, and I'm into graphic design.
Reminiscent of Mel's Drive-In in American Graffiti.
And so we're going to have to scoot out of here. Thanks enough for catching the summertime show. This is Dick Summer. Very sincerely yours.
It was a fun time. It really was.
I'm in the movie almost as much as Art.
Hi, I'm Bill Shirk, and I was with Super XL, WXLW Radio back in the 70s, 72 through 75, 76. Still owned the station until I sold it.
WXLW. Write it down.
And now I own non-commercial stations and have 12 stations in Hawaii, and this is Ann
Hawaii?
Craig. In Hawaii?
I did not know that. Well, we're going to have to talk here in a minute. Okay, I'm Ann Craig, and I've been at, let's see, WNAP, which is the subject of this. Wife before that, I actually was on Wife. I think I helped bring down both of those great iconic stations because I was in the last few years. And let's see, ZPL, WENS, I helped put Channel 59 here on the air, Hoosier 96, I was there briefly, and Smooth Jazz Station. And right now we're in the travel business.
That's right. I also was involved with some radio stations, Hoosier 96 and a station which was called KISS, which is now TLC, and a Smooth Jazz station, which is now Radio Now, and a low-power television station, which I sold in 2000. And you were there, Art Vuolo, in the opening of Hoosier Hot 96 when I was up on top of the tower at Bank 1 in a rainstorm.
Mike Griffin. I was at WNAP from 68 to 70. I went to Cleveland. I was at WMMS in Cleveland to 72. Came back to WNAP, and I was there until 75. Then I did concerts for Sunshine Promotions until 79. And then I did the morning show on Q95 for 3 years. And then I went back to WNAP again. I am now living in Central California, and I'm retired. Still have a stake in Panther Racing IndyCar team, and I'm loving life.
I just saw the movie and loved it. Just thought it was so much fun. I think it had special meaning for me because I grew up at that time in Indianapolis and lived it not only as a radio listener, but then, you know, also as an integral part of my career. So I loved it. I thought Dave and everybody, Al, did a wonderful job with the film. I think it has relevance for people who aren't from here. I think it'll work all over the United States because it tells about a time in radio that a lot of people don't understand. I love seeing Scott Shannon. I love seeing a lot of people. I love seeing Freddie Fever in the movie. So it was a lot of fun. Thanks, Art. Back to you and Dave.
All right, boy, what a night this has been. We had a chance to talk to a lot of the nice people. Hi, it's Art Vuolo. And I had an unbelievable amount of time in this great movie about Indianapolis radio and the great wars that happened in the 60s. And I am here with the filmmaker, even though film is a four-letter word that starts with an F, right?
It is.
But anyway, with Dave Fulton. And now, who gave you this? It says
I'm not exactly
Naptown
sure.
Rock Radio Wars, Dave Fulton.
Producer, director.
Yes.
And then the world premiere date, January 14th, 2012.
That's right.
I'm
Well,
just
well, you deserve
delighted.
that. You deserve it.
This is to commemorate my film's premiere, and I can't tell you how excited I am with this art.
Now that it's over, and tell me, what did you think? The crowd reaction, what was it like?
Good. I mean, it was the most friendly crowd anyone could ever hope for. Everyone seemed to be laughing in the right places, and I'm just really delighted it was received as well as it was.
Well, that's fantastic now. And perhaps it'll be on public television here in Indianapolis and maybe even in other cities.
Right.
And then it'll probably be offered on DVD, perhaps?
Don't know about the DVD at this point.
Well,
all my friends in YouTube, I'm afraid to say, there are no plans at this point in time for a DVD release because of the licensing that would be involved in it. But
damn licensing.
Yeah, we're going to look into it, though.
Because everyone's going to want to have this in their library.
I know.
So we're going to have to work around
Let me ask you,
we're going to work around licensing.
Nobody in America knows more about the history of radio and rock radio in particular than you do. Art, what was your opinion of the film?
I thought it stunk because it didn't have enough of me in it. No, it was even better than I thought it would be.
Good. Well,
I mean it. And as I think I told you on the phone, Shotgun Tom Kelly out in San Diego, who's never set foot in Indianapolis, said you don't have to be from Indianapolis to appreciate this movie.
Well, that's what we were looking for. I did not want to do just a nostalgia piece about radio in Indianapolis. I mean, there's a genuinely interesting story here, and it's a story that has very interesting characters, and in a lot of ways it played out across the country in different markets. But Indianapolis is a good exemplar for how that story was.
And congratulations.
Thank you, Art.
You pulled off a winner.
Thank you for coming to Indianapolis to personally attend
in the middle
world
of
premiere.
In the middle of winter. January. I said, whatever you do, don't have the premiere in the middle of the winter. Not here. Anyway, thanks a million, and thanks you very much for watching. I'm Art Vuolo in Indianapolis. Catch you later.
WIBC. WIFP.
WNAP, Indianapolis.
It was AM versus FM. Game on.